to see you. Thank you so much for joining me for this morning's live. Today we are going to work our entire body. We're going to sculpt, tone, and strengthen, but we're not going to be using any weight or equipment. However, if you do have a set of ankle weights and you want to use those, feel free to put them on for some of the lower body work, and you'll really feel an intensifying of the burn. But without any weight at all, you are still going to get in a great workout. So I've planned a warm up and a cool down for today's session. We're going to feel really good. It's going to start the day off well. So it is pitch black where I am. It is very early. It is cold. I need something to energize me to start the day, and I'm so glad that you're here with me to do that. So let's go ahead and jump right into our warm-up to really mobilize all the major joints and get us feeling well set up for exercise. So I'm going to do this warm-up from a kneeling position, but you can stand if that's more comfortable for you. I'm going to kneel and then just set myself up with really good posture and form through the spine. So do the same if you're standing. If you're standing, you're going to want your feet hip distance apart and your feet parallel. So we're just going to begin with some breathing. I'm going to place my hands on my abdomen here and just breathe deeply in through the nose and then slowly exhale through the mouth. Inhale in through the nose, drawing air into the back of the rib cage. And slowly exhale through pursed lips, blowing all that old air out of the lungs. Good. Inhale. And exhale, softening the shoulders as you do so. Now, if you haven't already, we're going to add that core engagement. So the hands are on the belly, on the abdomen here. We're going to inhale, letting the abdominals relax. And then as we exhale, we're going to draw that navel tightly in toward the spine, contracting the abdominal wall. Good. Let's take a few more breaths like that. Inhale in through the nose. And as you exhale, draw your navel in toward your spine, sitting up or standing up nice and tall. Good. Inhale. And exhale. As you blow all the air out of the lungs, I want you to keep that contraction through the entire exhale. Nicely done. Now we're going to lift our shoulders up and roll them down and back. Lift those shoulders and roll them down and back. Inhale to lift, exhale to roll. Inhale, lift, and exhale. We'll melt those shoulders down and back for 2, opening through the chest, and 1, melting down. Nicely done. Now from here, we're going to take the arms overhead, palms are facing forward. And we're going to draw those elbows down, knitting the shoulder blades together. And then we're going to lift the arms up, bring them to shoulder height, pull back on that right side, looking out over right elbow, rotating around the spine, back to center, and then pull back with that left elbow and back to center. Lift those arms back up and pull them down, growing tall through the crown of the head as you do so. Lift, lower to shoulder height, pull back on the right side, rotate, pull back on the left side, rotate, stretching the neck as you do so, moving back into that pull down. So you're moving between the pull down and the alternating pull backs to warm up the shoulders, mobilize the spine, and stretch the neck. Good. 1, 2, lift up and pull down. Good. 2 more sets. Pulling back. Good. Last set. Lift it up. Pull it down. Draw those shoulder blades together. Lift up, lower, and rotate as much as you can around the spine. Back to center. Rotate as much as you can over to the left. Back to center and lower down. Roll out the shoulders for a moment, releasing tension. And then we're going to lift the arms back up, palms facing forward. Inhale here and exhale, twist and rotate to the right. bringing the right hand out behind you, left hand to the outside of the right knee or thigh if you're standing. Good. And rotate opposite side. Now I want you to really challenge yourself by keeping the spine nice and tall and elongated here. So try not to slump in the spine as you open arm twist and rotate. Again, furthering opening the chest, mobilizing the spine, and stretching the neck. For 2, and final 1. Bring the arms up and lower them down to the mat. Nicely done. Come to the top of your mat if you're not already there. I'd like you to move into an all fours position. We're drawing our navel in toward our spine here, and we're going to lift, pushing the mat away, rounding through the spine, and then lower the belly, roll the shoulders down, and bring the gaze up, arching the spine. Good. Push mat away, and then arch. Good. Inhale, and exhale, moving between the 2 positions in cat-cow. Really pushing that mat away, creating a lot of space between the vertebrae, and then rolling those shoulders down, bringing the gaze up. Good. We've got 3. And 2. And final 1. And bring the spine back into neutral. Amazing. Now I'd like you to curl your toes and lift your hips up toward the ceiling, coming into a downward dog. You can have your knees bent as much as is needed to get that lift through the hips and flatten out the upper back. Good. Now from here, we're going to add a leg lift on the right side. Lift the right leg and lower. Lift the right leg and lower. One more, lift and stretch and lower that leg. Good. Now moving over to the left side. Lift the left leg and lower. Lift and lengthen and lower it down. Really stretching and lengthening, opening up in the hip here and lowering down. Amazing work. Now from here, we're going to stretch and lengthen a little bit higher through those hips, and we're going to lift the heels up nice and high and then lower them as close as you can down toward the mat. Lift and lower those heels, stretching the backs of the legs for 3, 2, keep those hips elevated, and last 1, stretching the backs of the legs and softening the knees down to the mat. Nicely done. Now that we've mobilized a lot of the major muscles or major joints, we're going to move into our upper body work. So from here, I want you to really make sure that your core is plugged in. We're going to walk the hands out in front of the shoulders. We want the wrists, elbows, and shoulders lined up. Arms are parallel. From here, I'm going to curl my toes, and we're going to lower the forearms down toward the floor, keeping the elbows hovering above the floor, and then push up through the heels of the hands. We're going for 5 of those, focusing on the triceps as you push up through the heels of the hands. For 3, 4, nice long neck, and 5, straighten the arms and pike up into your downward dog. Stretch and lengthen. For 3, 2, 1, lower down. Return to those forearm taps. 1, weight in the heels of the hands. Focus on the backs of the arms. 3, 4, core is engaged, and 5, and send the hips up toward the ceiling. Good. Repeat. Lower the knees. 1, 2, 3, focusing on those triceps. 4, and 5, nice work. Pike it up, stretch and lengthen, and lower it down. Good. 1, 2, working the backs of the arms. 3, 4, and 5, straighten the arms and send those hips up and back. Nice work. Stretch. 1. Moving at a bit of a pace here. 3, 4, and 5. Stretch and lengthen. Nicely done. 3 more sets. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Keep the shoulders down away from the ears. Neck is nice and long. And pike it up. Stretching and lengthening. 2 more sets. Tension on the backs of the arms as you lower those forearms down to the mat and push up through the heels of the hands. 4, 5. Good. And stretch and lengthen through the spine. Little rest. Last set. We're going for 15 continuous pulses. 1, 2, 3. Nice work. 4. Weight in the heels of the hands. Last 10. 9. 8. Keep those shoulders away from the ears. 2. And 1. Nicely done. Amazing work. Sit up for a moment and give your shoulders a roll for 1 and 2. Nicely done. Now we're going to return to our all fours position. Make sure you're at the top of the mat. Now we're going to position those hands so that they're right below the shoulders. We want the wrists, elbows, and shoulders lined up. We're going to go into some alternating shoulder taps, and we're going to start off with the knees down on the floor. So I'd like you to really find a lot of balance across those shoulders. So you're gently pushing the mat away, keeping the shoulders completely level and balanced. I'd like you to support yourself with your right hand as you tap left fingers to right shoulder, and then lower left hand. Then tap right fingers to left shoulder and lower right hand, alternating between the two. So, even though we're not in a full plank here, I still want you to focus on the work happening in the upper body. So as you take one hand away, you're supporting yourself with your one hand, and you're making sure those shoulders stay broad and level, and that your core is engaged. Alternating shoulder taps. And if you're ready to step it up, you can come back into a plank position. If you're not ready, keep moving with the knees down and build strength that way. You can still get in a good upper body workout when you're really focusing on the muscles doing the work and focusing on that balance and stability and core engagement with your knees up or with your knees down, whatever level you're at, moving with intention. Good. Alternating from side to side. Let's go. 5, 4, core engaged. 3, amazing work. Nice flat line with the body. 2, and 1. Lower the knees, take them nice and wide, and push back into child's pose, stretching and lengthening through the spine. Amazing work. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to come forward into a low plank with our arms, forearms parallel with the top of the mat. So we're lowering the left forearm down, parallel with the top of the mat, and then lowering the right forearm down just in front of it. So both forearms are parallel with the mat and the elbows are below the shoulders. From here, you're either going to step back into a full plank with your right and left leg extended, or you're going to keep one knee down on the mat as we open from side to side. So if you've got your knee down, it looks like this. You're extending the leg as you lift the arm to the side. If you're going into the full plank version, you're keeping those both knees up, elevated off the floor, holding in low plank as we open arm twist from side to side. Holding in a side plank, reaching for the ceiling with those fingers, keeping that bottom hip lifted, core tight and engaged. Moving slowly, supporting the upper body with those forearms. Good. cinching in the waistline, working into the obliques as well as those shoulders as we rotate from side to side. Nice work. We've got 5, 4, you're doing great. Keep that lower hip lifted. 3, last 2, and final 1. Now from here, lower down, take the knees nice and wide. Push back into child's pose for 3, 2, and 1. Come forward, lower your body down to the mat, and we're going to move into some side lying work to work the thighs and the glutes as well as the hips. We're going to get a little bit of upper body work in here too. So we're lengthening out. I've got my right leg on top. I'm going to place my right hand down on the mat for support, and the head is resting in the hand here, or it can be on the outstretched arm, whatever's more comfortable for you. I want you to plug your belly in towards your spine, lift those legs up and hinge forward so you're in a gentle pike position. Neck is long. We're gonna lift that top leg and lower. Lift and lower. So keeping it parallel with the bottom leg. We've got 8, 7, pointing through the toes. Keeping that lower leg switched on as well as the upper leg for stability. 2, and 1. Nice work. Now we're going to add a front kick. So we're going to lift the leg up, lower it, and then kick that leg forward on a diagonal and lower it. So lift the leg straight up and then kick forward on that diagonal. Good. Lift and lengthen and kick forward. Good. Lift it up and kick forward. Good. Lift and come forward with that leg. Good work. Strengthening the hips, thighs, and glutes here. Nice. We've got 3 more for 3. Shoulders down and relaxed. 2. Final 1. And kick it forward on that diagonal. Nicely done. Now from here, we're going to bend the knees. Bringing the knees together, keeping the hips stacked. Toes are pointed. Inside of the feet are glued together as we open up into a clamshell and then lower. Open and close. Open it up and close. Being careful not to let that top hip roll back. You want it stacked on top of the lower hip. Good. Let's go 5 more for 5 and 4, 3, contract the core, 2, amazing work, last 1, lower down. Good. Now we're going to prop ourselves up on that left forearm. Left elbow is below the left shoulder. Now from here, we're going to continue to strengthen those lower body muscles. We're going to get into the obliques and we're going to strengthen the shoulder a little bit here too. So we're going to come into a version of the clamshell where we're lifting the lower hip and opening the knees and then lowering, keeping those legs parallel. So lift, line, and lower. Lift and lower. Good. Nice. As you come up, I really want you to draw your belly button in towards your spine. Nice work. We've got 5 more for 5. Lift a bit higher with that lower hip. 4. Keeping those legs parallel. 3. Engaging those abs and that shoulder. And last 1. And lower it down. Amazing work. Now we're going to switch sides. So I'd like you to come down onto your side body with your left leg on top. And from here, we're going to stretch out nice and long, supporting the head. Hand comes down onto the mat. We're picking those legs up and bringing them forward. Now from here, we're lifting the top leg and lowering. Good. for 8. Finding length through those toes. Good work. Really lift and lengthen and lower with control. As you lower, engage your core. It'll help with stability. Let's go 3, 2, nice lift, and 1. Now we're coming up and we're shooting forward on that diagonal, trying to maintain balance and stability by engaging the core and moving with control. So you can move more slowly if you need to, so that you're not rocking around in the torso. Good, lift and come forward on that diagonal. Good, lift, working the hips from multiple angles here. Good. Maintain a nice, long, relaxed neck. Try not to let those shoulders come up by the ears. Nicely done. Let's go 3 and bring it forward. 2, finding length and control. 1, and come forward. Amazing work. Now let's bend at the knees, setting up for the clamshell. Hips are stacked, knees are stacked. Inside of the feet are glued together as we open and close without letting that top hip roll back. None of this. It's a small range of movement, really focusing on the gluteus medius muscle, that side bum area, and deep into those hips. Good. Nice, long, relaxed neck. Good. Keep the core engaged. Let's go 5, 4. You're doing so well. Stick with it. 3, 2, and 1. Amazing. Now, placing that forearm down on the mat, elbow below the shoulder, chest is nice and open here. You can have your hand on your hip or behind your head, whatever feels more comfortable. And we're lifting into that elevated clamshell, really focusing on picking that lower hip up off the ground. Tightening the core, working into the waistline. Good, let's go 6 and 5. Lift a bit higher for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done. Now from here, we're going to move into some abdominal work. So we're going to lower down to the mat, 1 vertebra at a time. I'd like you to take your hands overhead, palms facing up toward the ceiling. We're going to inhale here, and as we exhale, we're going to curl and crunch up, bringing the hands to the sides. Inhale to lower, exhale, curl and crunch up. So as you pull back, I want you to find length through the spine. Reach those fingers toward the wall behind you, and then curl and crunch up, reaching those fingers toward the heels. So you're lowering and lifting, finding length in each part of the movement. And as you curl and crunch up, you're tightening your abdominal wall, you're flattening your low back to the mat. Good. Really focusing on our breath work here. Inhale and exhaling to contract the core. Let's go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done. Now bringing the arms back overhead, we're going to bring the right knee in toward the chest as we curl and crunch up. You can keep head, neck, and shoulders down, or you can elevate up into a crunch. Then we're going to send the leg out and lower. So you're coming up and lowering. Curl up, extend, bend, and lower. Curl up, extend, bend, and lower. So you're holding in that crunch or keeping head, neck, and shoulders down on the mat, and you're curling up. Nice work. We've got 5 more for 5 and 4. Peeling those shoulder blades up off the mat for 3 and 2 and final 1. We're going to come up, bend the knee in, take the hands behind the head, nice wide elbows, and now we're going to cross over and then extend, bringing the spine back to center, then cross over, rotating around the spine, and extend. Good. Pressing the low back into the mat as you rotate around the rib cage. Good work. We've got 5. Tightening the waistline. 4. Shortening the distance between the bottom of the rib cage and the hip bone. 2. And final 1. Amazing work. Let's just bring our knees in toward our chest for a moment here. Breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. Nice work. We're going to switch sides. So now we're bringing that left knee in. We're rolling up, extending, bending, and lowering. Lift, extend, bend, and lower. Great work. Lift it up, hold in your crunch, and lower with control. Peel up. Really point hard through the toes, squeezing the thigh muscles and the calves as you move through this crunch. Good. Nicely done. We've got 4 and 3 and 2. Pull your navel down towards your spine. And final 1. Bring it in. Take your hands behind your head. Cross it over. Good. Elbow to knee. Good. Really cinching in the waist. Working those obliques. Last 5 and 4. Last 3. Lift that right shoulder blade for 2. Nice wide elbows. And last 1. And lower the foot down to the floor. Amazing work. Okay, now we're going to really target our upper abs. So we have a couple of options here. Either you're going to have your legs in tabletop and you're going to be reaching like so as you come up, or for a more challenging version, you've got your legs fully extended. The arms are overhead. We're inhaling here and we're exhaling, reaching for those toes or the ceiling and then lowering down. Okay, repeat. And lower. And lower. Notice I'm holding for a split second, really focusing on those upper abs, and then lowering with control. Ooh, these burn even after only a few reps. Good. Nice work. We've got 5 and 4. Lift a bit higher. For 3. Getting that upper ab definition and strength. And final 1. We're going to hold it here and pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, lower down. Bring those knees in toward the chest. Amazing work. Stretch the legs out long. Roll over onto your stomach. We're going to stretch out the abdominals now. So I'd like you to take your hands on either side of your shoulders and peel up into a cobra stretch, or come all the way up onto those palms for the stretch. Either way, you're keeping the shoulders down away from the ears, lengthening through the spine and breathing into those sore abdominal muscles or those well-worked abdominal muscles. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale and exhale. Gently lower down. Roll over onto your back once again. And we're just going to stretch the left leg out and bring the right knee in toward the chest, hugging it in close. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Hugging that knee in a little bit closer toward the chest, deepening the stretch. And then gently releasing, stretching the right leg out, bringing the left knee in toward the chest. Stretching into those hips. Breathing in deeply and slowly exhaling through pursed lips. Controlling the breath. Bringing the heart rate down for 3 and 2 and 1. Bringing both knees in toward the chest. Bringing the soles of the feet together. Letting the knees butterfly out to the sides and just stretching the lower back here as well as the inner thighs as you draw those feet in toward the midline of the body. Try to connect your tailbone with the floor here if you can. If it's too much with your feet drawn in, you can just have your hands on your knees like so, just encouraging the knees out toward the sides so that you can feel that stretch in the inner thighs as well as in the lumbar spine. For 3, 2, and 1. Take your hands behind your thighs and roll up. From this position, we're going to sit with our legs crossed, or you can kneel if that's more comfortable for you. And we're just going to take the right hand over to the right side and just bring that left arm up and over, stretching through the side body, reaching and lengthening. Nicely done. Back to center. And then lower that left hand, reach up and over with that right hand, trying to keep the right bum cheek down on the floor. Good. Let's take one more each side. Keeping the chest nice and open, so trying not to turn down here. Keeping that left bum cheek down on the floor as you reach and stretch through the whole side body. Good. And last one. Reach a bit further and return to center. Okay, let's finish off with some shoulder rolls. Let's lift the shoulders up and roll them down and back for 3 and 2 and final 1. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that routine. There were some different moves in there, and I hope you feel really strong and well stretched after completing it. You should feel proud of yourself. It's a great start to the day, or whatever time you're tuning in. I hope you feel amazing for the rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you again next time. See you soon. Bye, guys.